Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Power and Purpose Podcast. I am your host, Patricia Shirley. Welcome back. You have entered into the bonus episode of the Power and Purpose Podcast. Today, our topic is I have a track record of wins. I'm going to say that again so that you can hear it. I have a track record of wins with God. So today we're going to talk about how each of us has a history with God, a divine history where He has taken us through many different challenges and obstacles and things that others may have not been through, but that is a track record of wins that we have with the Lord. And today we're going to talk about a very familiar passage. It comes from 1 Samuel 17, verses 34 and 37. I'm going to start out talking about King David. And it reads, "But David persisted. I have been taking care of my father's sheep and goats," he said. "When a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and club it to death. I have done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine." So this is where we see David come into the picture. We have a King Saul, king that was eventually disobedient to God, whom God had rejected. But in this particular passage, Saul was the king, and he was afraid to go out before this Philistine. And all his men and all his soldiers were equally as afraid and fearful. And here enters in David. David was recounting what the Lord had done for him previously, and he was not afraid to go up against this humongous Philistine. They even say history recalls that, my God, Goliath could stand as if, I believe, 9 foot tall. So the intimidation that must have been on all those that looked on him as he was tall and wide and big as the depiction is. But at the same time, there was such a boldness and courage inside David as he began to say certain things about what the Lord had done before. And I want you to understand that there is a warrior inside of you. There is courage and strength inside of you. When you see things that may be too big for you, when you see things that maybe you feel like it's insurmountable and insurpassing, I don't know, whatever the situation or circumstance is that may be weighing you down, that may be harassing you. Maybe it's a relational issue. Maybe it's an issue at your job. Maybe when you go into work, you have things that go on with coworkers or with your supervisor, or maybe you're being a sort of suppressed in an area where you can't use your gifts and your anointing, the call of God that's on your life. Maybe you're being suppressed in an area where you feel like I'm being held back and I can't really move forward or push forward, and I need to move forward in a greater way. And it feels like something is on you, riding you. You feel like a weight is on you, and there's just this giant. There's just this huge thing that you're facing. Maybe you face death. Maybe you face loss. Maybe you face a divorce. I don't know what your giant is today, but I want to tell you that you need to rehearse the wins that you have had previously. You need to begin to write them down. You need to begin to speak them out. You need to begin to recount them, just as David did. David began to speak to the wins that he had previously so that he could speak to that huge giant and let that thing know that you're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to overtake me. You're not going to overcome me. It may look too big for you, but nothing is too big for my God. And you see, we have a track record with God. And when you have a track record with God, a track record of Him showing up, a track record of Him continually giving you wins, you've overcome that financial obstacle. You've overcome that relational issue. You have overcome that sickness, that disease. You have overcome the things that begin to hold you back and refused to let you go where you couldn't catapult before. Now you're beginning to catapult. You're beginning to ascend and excel. You have to sometimes remind the thing that's standing before you, telling you to stop, that you will not stop me. You will not hinder me. You will not prevent me. I will make it through this. I have fought battles of lesser quality, and God has taken me out of those battles successfully. So this is nothing that stands before me, because I serve a God that can do greater. So on today, I want to encourage you that no matter what you're facing, no matter what dynamics you're facing, that you begin to rehearse and recount before the Lord in your private prayer time. Even as you're driving in your car, even before you go to work, you begin to recount the things that has been done for you previously. And I want to tell you today that we have to step out, that the things that look like it's too big for you are the things that you are in fact called to step over and to overcome. Goliath looked like it was too big for him. Goliath looked like he couldn't handle it. So I want to tell somebody today, you need to take that job that's too big for you. You need to make that move that's unfamiliar, that's making you uncomfortable. You need to take that opportunity that looks like it's too much for you. In this time, your capacity is being widened and expanded to be able to handle greater measures and greater levels. So God begins to take us through a process, and that process is where we begin to walk, like we walk up steps, and these steps are different trials, testing, situations, and circumstances that we encounter, and it's all taking us up to a greater place. And sometimes when we get to that place, we may look at something that looks like it's too big, but in fact, we were being prepared the entire time to be able to handle the weight of the things that we would have to step into next. So I want to tell you, each and every time you pass the test, each and every time that you do what is necessary to be done at that level that you're at, you are preparing and equipping yourself in a greater dimension to take on that giant. So I want to tell you today, you need to speak it. You need to say it. You have continual wins with God. You have a track record and a history that is undeniable. You will not be taken out. You will not be left out. You will not be behind. It will not overtake you. God has already given you blueprints and strategies previously, and you know how to win successfully. So you must call to remembrance the things that you have done before, just like David did, so that you can slay your Goliath in this season. So I want you to know today, as we are coming to the end of this bonus episode, you have continual wins with God. Continue to win, continue to war, continue to fight, and continue to speak. Every glass ceiling is about to be shattered, and every door of opportunity is about to be open, because you will recount all that you have won before, and you will speak, and you will continually climb up those stairs and get to the place where you need to get to, and you will win. Make it an amazing day.